We are?
Hi everybody, it's
What you
Ernie
don't
and Bert
know-
here.
What you don't know is I just got censored. I just got the look and I got the
He did.
and what that meant is you can't say that.
Yeah, I've never done that to him before, but we are now starting our video again. So
Which just shows you how correct I must have been, like right on the raw point.
it wasn't my raw point.
You know what? You got to plan for the future. That's what we were going to talk about. And here's the argument. You know, live in the moment. The universe will provide, or a little bit of premeditation. You know, Eckhart Tolle's written a book on In the Moment.
I like that book. Can I just say my point, then we'll do yours as well? My feelings
Do
are...
I have a choice?
No. Eckhart Tolle's saying, live in the moment, appreciate the now. You know, when you're with your friends, be with them, appreciate the moment. I don't think he means to not plan. I think he just means to enjoy the moment. Because look, even people like Oprah who love Eckhart Tolle would... I mean, clearly she's made a plan.
She's planning the end of her show. She's planning her new network. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So, yes,
which brings me to
we
my
do
point.
We do agree, but you were going to dismiss him completely, whereas I think...
No. I think when you're having a good time, for instance, or you enjoying something, whether you're running or you're swimming or out to dinner, you go and enjoy that. However, the dopes that just live their life from day to day, and all of a sudden 70 years goes by, and then they talk about all the things they wish they'd done, then they are the fools.
Yes, that's right.
Because you see...
So you do have to plan. You can't just be completely stupid.
Well, if you take an average lifespan, you can split it like this. You can say the first 25 years is learning and education and acquiring your skills, whatever it is you be. Like that English?
No, I was just thinking how tragic that sounded, actually.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
He says that every now and then, that sort of thing.
For 25 years, you go to school, you do a course, whatever course you do, or trade, or profession, or whatever it is you want to be. And then really it's the next 25 years takes you from your beginning earning capacity to your maximum earning capacity. That takes you through to 50, and then surely in the last trimester you should be enjoying...
What's retirement age in America? Is it 55 as well? It's 55 in Australia?
No.
Oh, Max, come and stick your head in. Just quickly stick your head in. Maxie's here so you can all see Max. He looks quite cute today in his pink shirt. There's Max. No, put your head down more. No, now there.
Hi, people.
There we are. Have a good day, Maxie.
I'm not sure, but retirement age here for self-funded retirees, that's people who put away for their own retirement is 55. However, for the general public, it's 65 or going up at the moment. But
does that only apply to superannuation people?
Yes.
To people who do superannuation? And does not everybody... See, here I'm asking the questions that some of you may not know, because Paul does plan ahead and he is very good with all the superannuation thing. Do you not have to do superannuation? I thought the employers had to do it.
No. Everybody, 9% of every dollar earned in the workplace, the employer pays 9% of every dollar earned into superannuation. And there are a series of triggers for that now because it's born before such a date, born after such a date.
I'm a long way off, everyone.
Yes, well, I'm not so far off.
You're not.
You don't want to wish your life away, but there's certain benefits in the legislation, the way it's framed. However, what I was getting at is this, is that a lot of people live their life from day to day and they don't really think about it until it's too late.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? It's not a dress rehearsal
here. They say, oh, I wish I'd done that. Yeah. I was there and I saw that person and I so wished I'd said hello to them.
You know, you feel like grabbing them and giving them a punch, you know. Because,
I know. Even the kids who watch Wicked, you know, when they say, I wish I'd gone up to Lucy Durack at stage door and said,
well, why not?
Do it. She's gorgeous.
What's
or, anyone. No one's,
What's she going to do? You know, deck
And what's
you?
the worst thing that can happen? They're rude and then you've got a story to tell.
You know, so you need to think. I see too many people that have got plenty of talent that just waste their life.
Yes, true.
And I get a real buzz out of having younger people in the office that they have an aha moment. You know, the light goes on and they go and they want to absorb and they want to learn, and then all of a sudden, once they know what it is they want to do, whatever it is they want to do, become the very best at what you do.
Yeah.
And then, because people say, oh, do you earn a lot of money doing this? Everyone chases the money. You know, everyone wants to do something where they earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the fact is...
Well, you probably wanted to earn money.
Yeah, but the fact is...
You probably did at the beginning. That's why you went into sales.
But you've got to... Hang on. Rewind. you know, you can be on television and they will just chew and spew. I mean, television people, announcers and people on television are the most disposable people in the employment sector. Let me tell you, you know, not many people have 50-year careers in television. Very few
that's
people.
true.
You see,
But where's that going?
well, what I'm getting at is that you've made me laugh.
I don't know where I was heading because I was sort of saying that you said that you had to do what you loved.
No.
You did probably
People
get into it to make
chase
some money as well.
No, people chase money. But let me tell you, if you were a doctor, everyone thinks doctors earn a lot of money. There'd be doctors not earning so much money, and there would be the very best doctors in their field earning a lot of money. If you are a performer, there'll be some performers earning not very much money,
Yes.
and there'll be some performers earning megabucks. And so it goes. And the same with real estate, the same with everything, the same with plumbers, the same with electricians, the same with plasterers, the same with builders. The people that are not so good in their field don't earn as much. So what I say...
Or who don't put their best efforts in.
Well, it's pretty clear. If you've chosen what it is you want to do, learn the skills, and so that you are really humming, so that you do the things to the very best of your ability. And if you do the things to the very best of your ability, the customers keep coming back because always they have a good experience. And if you have lots of customers that are having a good experience because what you do very, very well, you'll earn a lot of money. Whereas I get people, they want to earn the money first. And I say, no, it's not about earning the money first. What it's about, it's about being good at what you do. And so then what I thought we'd talk about today is your plan. And so I really like to talk to kids that are maybe age 15, 16, 17, 18, start work, and they're on their way. Because I think for me to try and talk to someone who is 70 years of age...
It's a bit late. Okay, I'm going to start with the questions. Because you'll get him talking forever.
Yeah, I've been
lucky I'm here to kind of mediate, I reckon.
Speak.
Okay, Karen sort of said she was inspired by this champion surfer who's, how old? 39. And she said, who is our longevity inspiration? Well, I can say who that is right now, and we can both probably say at the same time. What do you think? Tom Hafey's pretty awesome. He's a
AFL football
we're talking
coach.
longevity. It was a question on longevity.
He goes to the gym with us. He is 80 years of age this year.
And he
has got a physique probably twice as good as mine.
You've probably heard us talk about him before.
He is the most disciplined guy I've ever met.
He doesn't drink alcohol and he doesn't eat sugar either.
No, he just made his
Ingrid
mind
will love
up.
that. But
he gets up early, he works hard, and you know what? He's 80 years of age. He has a full day. He's enjoying himself. He's
I'm actually going to cut back on the alcohol, everyone, as well.
Yeah, he's earning an income. He's happily married and has been pretty much all his life. He's got kids and he's got grandkids, and the guy's 80 years of age.
He looks fabulous.
And you know what?
His brain's fabulous too.
If I went and gave him a push to thump him,
you wouldn't get past him.
He would stand like a telephone pole and he would knock me flat.
Yeah, he would.
And this guy, I could take him water skiing and he'd be able to do a jump start. He is
so
awesome.
He's probably our inspiration. We look at him when we go to the gym, we think we want to be like that, don't we?
Absolutely.
And it's also inspiring in a kind of strange sort of way when you see someone going, or, you know, they're groaning to move along.
That's what she does every day. That's what she does every day when she gets off the couch.
In a strange way, that's also inspiring because you think, I don't want to be like that when I'm older. Yes. Okay. So, did you hear me say I was going to give up alcohol? Well, not completely, maybe, but I'm going to try not to have it for a while.
I'll keep you
Who
posted.
else wants to do that with me?
I'll keep you posted.
I'm serious. I feel like we've been drinking so much on holidays and stuff like that I'm really, you know, it's not as exciting as it was. You know, it's nice to have a drink and go, oh, that was great. I think it's getting a bit too familiar.
What's the next question, Megan? I reckon we'll keep them posted on that.
I've done it before.
Not for a while.
Not for a while.
Not for a while.
Claire works for a financial planner. And she said it's interesting to see people who are retired with plenty of money but just not happy. That's just them, isn't it, I think? I think talking about what you can do that makes you feel happy would be the perfect start. Being happy is the key to everything.
You've got to have felt at the end of the day that you've done something effective and made a contribution.
Yeah.
And whether you've made a lot of money and you don't need to earn the money, at that point maybe you've spent time with your grandchildren, maybe you've done something for a charity, maybe you've helped someone else out.
Money is not going to make them happy, that's true.
No, it's the journey. It's the journey of working out from where you are today to where you want to be and going for it. and
And
achieving.
having hobbies and friends and stuff you like doing, it doesn't have to cost money.
No, it's achieving.
Yeah.
It's achieving. You know, it may well be. I hate to have a day really where I do nothing, and if I go
We're a bit
stir
like that
crazy,
today, aren't we?
stir crazy, I'll go out and I'll start clipping the garden or blowing the leaves or
Yeah.
cleaning the pool or doing something because I feel that I have to do something. So
Heather said her dad's 83 and he's her inspiration because he's happy and healthy and loves life.
you
She
can't,
thinks that's
you
the
can't
answer.
beat that.
No, I agree.
You can't beat that.
Hello, Miss Heather. Are you giving up alcohol with me, young lady? Yes.
Oh, Heather, the big challenge.
Yes. If I can do it, you can too. That's your challenge, Miss Heather.
No, Heather's challenge is, will we see you at a taco
Taco night.
night
Oh,
in
see?
2011? We're nearly
That's right.
halfway through, Dale. You
We
better
have
get
asked
moving.
Heather a lot of times
Yes.
to tacos. She's scared.
Yeah.
Okay. Kira said, good topic, Paul.
Mm.
I think the secret to longevity is exercise. Lots and lots of exercise.
I agree.
And, we like this. We were reading this yesterday in the car. Plus, I think young people give energy to older people.
I agree.
So I think that's important as well. And Paul and I were saying that, like, I love all you guys on here that are younger than me. I like all my teenagers that are from Wicked and like all the kids that write to me. I love that.
I'll give you an example. Maxie had one of his friends playing tennis here yesterday, and
Hi, Landon.
hi Landon. He was talking to Megan about Washington and how he'd been there. And in Washington, you've got the Lincoln Memorial, the Reflection Pool, and
Yeah, because I love
the Capitol,
it there.
the Capitol building on the hill, and it's all in line. And in the middle is an obelisk. Well, he said, "Did you go up the obelisk, Megan?" Well, we didn't. It's a lift right to the top.
Yeah.
As soon as he
sent
got
me
home,
pictures.
he put photos on
It was cool.
Facebook of
It's on my
the
Jewelchic
views from
Facebook
the obelisk. So that's yes, young people do bring. It's like when
Well,
our children go and see my mum and dad, their
Yeah.
faces light up.
Yeah.
And you know what?
But I also like talking to older people as well. We've got friends that are much older than us as well.
Mm.
I like both. I think both keeps you interested.
There's different energy to be learnt. You know,
Yeah.
one is effervescent and happy, and the other one.
Some older
is,
people. We met a woman the other day. She was over 80, and she was amazing. And I said to Paul, I think she's so like that because she's still teaching, and she was interested in stuff.
and interested in people.
And she hadn't had any, plastic surgery or any of that stuff, which is fine if you want to do that. I'm not, saying that that's a bad thing, but
Mine look all right.
but I am very drawn to people who don't do that. Like when I see a beautiful woman like that, yes, she had lines and all that sort of thing, but I just thought she looked great.
I had a client.
And I loved her energy.
I had to do a job for a client not so long ago, and this particular client is actually a hairdresser. Anyway, it was a very successful transaction. The customers are all happy, and she said to me, after I got to know her a bit better, do I have a wig? Because all my hair's all grey here. And she always thought...
But Paul does not have a wig, and nor does he colour his hair.
See that? It's all mine.
Yes, look.
Whoops,
it came off. Wouldn't that be hilarious? If I even had not known and then it was a wig or something.
I was dealing with a customer about 21 years ago. It was. I can remember it vividly, and he'd come into my office.
Now look what's happened to your hair.
Yeah, he'd come into my office, and the day that he'd come into my office, he was pretty much bald. He had a bit of hair around the back.
I love this story.
Right? And then I listed this block of flats because I told this guy, I said to this guy,
don't say his name for heaven's
no,
sake.
I said, you're going to flip your wig when you see these flats because they're unbelievable. And I looked at him from the day previous to the next day, and he'd put a wig on. And while I was sitting
Only
there talking
Paul would say something
I couldn't
like that.
I couldn't keep my eyes off it. My eyes were looking straight, and I could see the head flapping like this.
So but you'll flip your wig and this poor man had just
No,
got his new hairpiece.
that's right. And when I said you're going to flip your wig when you see these, he looked at me, and I looked at him, and we both smiled, and nothing was said. What's the next question?
Kira, I agree. Embrace, have lots of friends all different ages. Jordan says, when you see yourself in so many different life outcomes, do you have to trust yourself that you're going to make the right decisions to get to just one of them, if that makes any sense? Look, there's always lots of different things you want to do. Yes, it is.
That is sliding doors. And so you have to make...
Or have your fingers in lots of pots. I do.
You've got to understand that there are actions and consequences. And the actions that you take today will lead to consequences down the track.
Yeah.
And so some people, which is what this person was talking about, enjoy the moment right now, and as a result of enjoying the moment, actually have a negative reaction or consequence down the track because, for instance, they might have been saving all their money for a rainy day, and they take all that money and they spend it, and therefore And then they need the money for a rainy day.
Jordan, I reckon that you instinctively should go for the one that you like the sound of the best.
I disagree.
Why? Because that's what she's going to put her most effort into.
Because sometimes you need to make a hard decision today for a good decision down the future.
Really?
Absolutely. Because and most of those.
What if she's got the choice of doing 4 different careers and one of them appeals to her more than the other?
Okay, and one of the choices might be that you have to study for an extra 4 years without being paid, yet in 10 or 15 years' time you'll reap the benefits of it, whereas the other decision might be go into employment immediately today and earn a very good salary.
You have to weigh it up, I
However, in 10 or 15 years the salary would be minuscule in comparison to what you would have done had you done the hard yards now.
Yes.
And I am absolutely...
Well, there's always small steps to the big steps, no matter whether the choice is right now or not. Seriously, there is. Like, for me to be taking photos, and I've been doing that for 20 years, and now I'm doing YouTubes, and so people say, oh, how do you get to go to all those media things and do all those things and take pictures? Well, I've been doing it for years.
Okay, let me give you an example.
But I love it. It's fun.
I took my daughter Zoe the other day to a dermatologist because she had a wart on her knee. She won't mind me saying. Anyway, and while we were there, we both had a consultation, and while we were there, I had my skin checked for sunspots, and Zoe had hers done. We're all done and finished, lovely guy, probably inside 10 minutes. The bill was $340, and so therefore if he did 6 of those, he'd earn $1,800 an hour. And I said to Zoe, I said, you know, how much do people earn an hour? They earn $15, $20, $25, $30 an hour or something like that. I said, well, this guy did 6 years of medicine and then 3 years as a specialty, or 4 years as a specialty.
Brains, though, mind you.
So maybe he spent 10 years getting a hard choice, getting to where he wanted to be, worked very hard. But he had the ability to generate $2,000 an hour.
But he was obviously very academic and could do that. See, if you put me into that school, I would just be miserable.
There's lots of people that if they put their mind and they decide that's what it is they want to do. So I said to Zoe, you know what, you think about that, because if you put your mind and your shoulder to the wheel today in year 11...
Well, she is academic. She technically could do
Year 11 and year 12, and you did this, I said you could get married, you could have children, and I said you could do the theatre that she likes, and she could do rowing, which she likes, because she would need only work 3 days a week. And she would have that for her life, that ability to generate. Next question.
Hey, guess what, everyone? I'm going to the Logies next week. Well, not actually to the actual event. I have done that before, but
red carpet.
Next week I'm doing the red carpet. That's, for those of you who don't know, it's our Australian TV Awards. It's fun. Everyone gets dressed up. I like seeing everyone there. Yes. I did it last year with Steve, actually, with this TV show.
He's great, Steve.
I love Steve. I wish he was here doing it with me. I think he's in Singapore now. But I would love to still be doing that show with him, but it's just not happening at the moment, so maybe another day. But anyway, this time I'm going with Zoe, actually, and Jake, who's really good on because Jake's like Max's age, so it'll be fun for them to see it as well. Anyway, so that's another opportunity that they're getting as well. Okay. Hi, Megan and Paul. What do you think about using your super to invest in property?
Well, you got your super can go 3 places, pretty much. It can be in shares and equities, it can be in cash, and it can be in property. And I think that you should have a balance. I don't think you should be weighted in any particular area too heavily. I think you should keep your powder dry in certain areas, because not everything performs at equal pace at the same time.
Do Americans have superannuation?
Yes, it's called a 501 or a 401k. I forget, 501
okay,
or 401k.
So that just means you know what we're
it's
talking about.
It's money for
then.
retirement. You invested, yes, absolutely, in high quality real estate. I would do that. I would have some in equities and I would have some in cash, because all of these markets run differently at different times, but yes.
Eva said, is it wise to buy gold or silver coins, or is that not necessary for long-term safety net?
That's a good question. People are saying, you know, should they buy gold and hold gold?
You could buy my jewellery, my beads. I wonder if they'll go up.
It's too heavy to carry around. It's too heavy to carry around. No, I don't think you need. If you want gold, exposure to gold, then you buy a gold stock. You buy a gold equity. And you can buy equities in Hillcrest. There's plenty of What's the other one? Starts with.
I don't know. Don't ask me. That's so beyond what I think.
Anyway, look, you buy a stock.
It's honest, isn't it?
You buy a stock that is a gold stock, and that will get you exposure to that area.
Claire said.
Newcrest.
Something about her spelling, but I didn't notice the spelling. Okay, so Kim said she loves our videos. I hope they're not boring. At least we've changed it this week a little bit so to have the topic.
Bit of extra time to watch it because Easter's on.
Exactly. Kim says she loves it. She loved it when I said nothing ventured, nothing gained, but she loved it even more when you said, hang on, what was it?
Do nothing.
Yeah, do nothing, get nothing, or whatever
true.
it was.
Do nothing,
That's
get
stuck
nothing.
in her head and got her motivated. I love that that's motivated you. That's awesome.
Whether it's in your work, whether it's in your
Do
relationship,
nothing, get nothing.
whether it's in your attitude towards physical activity, you know what? Do nothing, get nothing. That is.
Nina wants
truth.
to know what plans you made at which points in life.
Oh.
And what triggers caused you to revise them.
In where is Nina from?
I don't know.
In 1990 in Australia here, we had a massive downturn. It was probably worse than the GFC that we had in 2008. And that was a very big wake-up call for me because I was only 30 years of age, so I had time to recover and
Restart,
yeah. And, back then I worked 7 days a week from probably 7 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. And I used to go out till 10 o'clock at night and sign people up. You know, no one knows how hard I worked except Megan.
Because everyone sort of thinks that Paul was just like this. When I married him, it looked comfortable, but then he had investments that had gone down because of the
only day
prices.
I used to go to work a bit later.
So when we got married, we actually really had nothing.
The only day I'd go to work later was Sunday, and I used to go to work on Sunday around 9 o'clock in the morning. But then I might get home at about 6 or 5:36 or something on a Sunday night, and then someone would ring me that had seen me during the day. I'd recognise their voice straight away, and then I'd end up going out and signing them up and selling them a property, and I'd get home 10:30, 11 o'clock, because if I'd finished it that night, then I had the morning free to tidy up otherwise.
Yeah, so he had to revise in that situation.
At what point you see you've got to learn the lesson, and back in 1990, I was geared too heavily, and I didn't need to be geared that heavily. And I certainly learnt the lesson from that. And having learnt that lesson, you need to borrow.
I actually think it was good in a way that you went through that. Because I reckon it changed him actually too.
I was 30, so I had time to recover. You wouldn't want to be 70 and go through that. Because I've got friends who are 70 who have gone through that.
Yeah.
And they have no money and they're living in a one-bedroom flat.
Yeah.
And now their challenge is their health. And that's a big challenge when you've got no comfort of owning your own home.
Even though
what are the triggers? What are the triggers? There was that was the very biggest trigger was
losing it all.
Interest rates here in Australia were about 18%. Property values halved. Businesses failed. Unemployment was over 10%.
We got married that year.
You know, about the only good thing was Collingwood won the grand final for Collingwood supporters. But it was catastrophic, and so from that day,
that was a big turning point. I reckon that was your major turning point.
Because prior to that, I'd started work the year John Lennon got shot, in 1980. So I'd been working for 10
years up until.
I'd been working for 10 years, and actually I'd done pretty well and made quite a big business. However, in 1990, effectively, I was completely level and started again. And then when I regrew my business, I was very much more clever, having learnt the lessons, and I could certainly teach those lessons. About
absolutely.
Dealing with bankers and creditors, and dealing with markets and how to structure your business, and all of those things. But from that day, I learnt, and that was the trigger.
But everyone just thinks he was like that all along. Sometimes people ask you if it was your dad's business, don't they?
Yeah, I've had that. I've had that. It must be the youth. But
exactly.
Since a bit more grey hair's been chipping in, I don't get that question as much. However, that was the big wake-up call, and so from then,
you constantly revise.
Sure,
you kind of look at things all the time, don't you?
Yeah, think about it, and then reset my goals, and then go for it. And I just a little bit more steady as she goes, not so much, the up too fast, down too fast.
Yeah.
But that was the big trigger.
Yes. Happy Easter, she said. Happy Easter to you. I haven't even had an Easter egg today.
It's because you had 30 before today.
I had 2 rabbits last week.
No wonder she's giving up the grog.
What's that got to do with chocolate rabbits?
Chocolate, alcohol, it has an impact, doesn't it? Next question.
Renee said, I have a question for Paul, since he's an expert and maestro in real estate.
Ooh.
He's just going to love you. He just will be flying around the room now. I'm planning on working on my property portfolio aggressively in the next few months. Best areas in Melbourne to invest? Hold that. Not to develop, but as a long-term investment where it will appreciate in value over long-term. Also, what are your views on buying off the plan versus buying an established property?
Okay, so the
I'll just sit here and
the
smile,
best areas
make
to
faces.
invest, in my opinion, is pick a 5K ring from the Melbourne CBD. And my preference is more from northern ring around to southern. So I would say from Richmond around through Paran. So Richmond, Paran, Armidale, South Yarra, Windsor, and so on and so forth in that ring. So that's where that's where I would hang. I mean, look, I've managed properties for people for 30 years. You know, I had people buying.
And they go up. Those properties go up. My little flat went up.
Well, they bought a one-bedroom unit for $7,000. You know, $7,000. Then they were selling $7,000 in the 70s. So
Really?
yes.
And that's worth what now?
$350, $380.
What, like my little flat?
Yeah. So I would pick those. I'm very comfortable with. We're a radial city, and it's like the spoke of a wheel, and everyone's leapfrogging to get
off
closer
the plan?
into the city.
Do you like off the plan?
No, there was another question before off the plan.
No.
It was the best suburbs, and then there was another question.
As a long-term investment where it'll appreciate the most, what are your views of buying off the plan versus an established property?
I think if you're buying off the plan, that can also be absolutely fantastic because there are definite advantages. One is you might have 18 months to 2 years to organise your financial affairs. 2, you may be able to buy it on a 5% deposit, but generally 10. 3, the stamp duty is almost nothing. You pay very little stamp duty. And 4, because
is there still that government thing?
There is a grant for first home buyers, but you've got to be, this lady's an investor, so she's not going to be living in it, so therefore it won't apply, and the grants have come down. But you've got to buy the right property. You know, look, that's across the board. You have got to buy the right type of property for a long-term investment. So that's all in the buying, and that's a whole separate topic again. And was there one more question with that?
No.
Buying off the plan?
No, so you got him interested then. He liked that one. He was on a roll. What Danielle wants to know what to do when plans don't go according to plan, mainly in reference to an outside source. Like I heard of a woman recently who's turning 40. She hadn't found the right guy. She did always plan, hope to get married and have kids, but now she's doing IVF for self-informed pregnant. You know what, Danielle? I reckon if that's what she wants to do, then good for her. I know that that's probably not what you would...
No, she's planning for the future.
Yes, she is.
She's
you know what, I think IVF. It's good. I would do it.
So she's giving herself longevity by being able to have a child.
And if she doesn't want to miss out on being a mother, if that's one of her high priorities, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I think good for her. I've got other girlfriends who, you know, years ago, now this is one for girls like in their late 20s or early 30s, and I watched an Oprah show talking about eggs and how when you're a woman, you're born with a certain amount of eggs, and as you get older, the eggs get older, so chances of having a healthy baby, you know, diminish. Yeah. As you get older. And this show, this Oprah show said, you know, why don't people harvest their eggs and have them in reserve just in case they don't meet their husband or partner, future partner, till they may be 40, and then they've got these younger eggs. Well, when I told my girlfriends that, some of them are married now, some of them are not, but I'm telling you, I might as well have been up against a shooting wall because they were...
you might as well have been on radio with a very controversial question, and that one...
No one liked me very much when I did say it.
And the funny thing is?
Well, yes, one of them has been doing that. And
good for her.
And it's fantastic, but it was funny because they didn't really want to hear that. Whereas I think... at least if they've done it, doesn't necessarily mean that by saving eggs, and I think it is expensive, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to meet someone and have babies naturally. That's not what it's saying. It's just saying be smart if that's...
And the point about it is that there is not one sole plan. If something doesn't quite go as you would hope it would go, then you have to have an alternative plan, but still heading in a similar direction.
Right. You know, I'm a bit of a believer that things work out the way they should.
Yeah, you don't just throw it all up in the air and put on a caftan and go and live in India and pull up stumps.
I've had things happen to me when I didn't do the bed linen anymore. I was really sad when I actually decided to leave the bed linen company because I really loved doing those bed linen designs. But After I made the choice to leave that company, it was my choice, I started on the jewellery, and now I love that. And then if I'd been doing that still, I would never have done YouTubes and all that. Well, I might have, but you know what? I've got the time to do it now.
What's the next
So
one?
there's always something new, I reckon. One door closes, another door opens. How do you solve a problem like Maria? Okay.
You can see she's good at jewellery.
Why? Why do you say that?
Singing's not your forte.
Oh, isn't he lovely?
Yeah.
Danielle? Okay, hang on. Diane said she always finds this topic overwhelming.
Which one?
You
Planning.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, there's
hang
only
on,
one
let me-
reason why. There is only one reason
she
why.
said there are always unforeseen surprises.
That's why you should plan.
What are good contingency plans, broadly speaking? This is one topic that I always put earmuffs on for, but I promise I will listen. Diane, hang on. Okay, she promised she'll listen. So that was it. So is there like, what would you... Oh, you know, okay, here's what I think.
I can give you one straight away.
I can too. Health cover. Health
You
insurance
must
in Australia.
have private health insurance. It is cheap to be privately covered in Australia compared to anywhere else in the world.
You've
We
got to
have
have
good health cover, so that is the first thing, health cover. And you know what the second thing is? Work out how much it costs you to live and save up six months of living expenses, rent or mortgage, and put it in a term deposit and forget that you ever had it. So that
that's a good one.
if you get sick, or if you get the sack, or if you can't work, or if you have one reason or another,
Yeah.
then you're not stressed because you've got a reserve
Oh, that is a
of
great one.
6 months of living expenses for your
And that
car
doesn't
payment,
mean, you know,
your
go
house
and
payment.
lash into it when you see
No,
a new
no,
jacket
no,
or
no,
something.
no. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Once you own it, you forget about it. That is absolutely the contingency put
Yeah.
away for a rainy day, because you know you just never know what's going to happen.
That's
but
a great idea.
6 months should cover you over, tide
Especially
you
for
over.
you guys that are young enough to get into doing that right now, do it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Next.
I like that one.
Hope you listened to that one.
Diane, did you?
Diane.
Melissa, as the owner of your real estate business, Paul, what would your advice be on those contemplating taking the huge leap from employee to business owner? Pros and cons. Do you think that running your own business adds to your longevity, or does the stress strip away the years?
Oh,
Bit of both.
yeah.
You were more stressful in the early years, I guess.
Well, you see, I would definitely say it depends, one, how old you are, because you tend to cope better with
Melissa's
stress
in
as
her
you're younger.
20s. Melissa's the one who did that beautiful photography. That sent me that beautiful.
Then definitely at your age,
That's Melissa.
having your own business, so long
Can't
as
see the
you.
picture. Maybe it's not that Melissa. I think it is. Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, the answer is you've got to understand and identify your market, and you've got to understand and identify a margin, and you've got to write a business plan, and you've got to understand how it is you're going to make a profit. So go in eyes wide open so that you have all expenses on the table, you have projected revenues on the table, you have a time to establish yourself. And I would say that yes, there'll be lots of stress in the first part of the business. Maybe it's the first 1, 2 or 3
She's got a
years
part B
of
to
the
this
business.
as well.
And so then you only do this so that, because you hope by having your own business you get more satisfaction, it suits you better, and of course you generate a higher revenue so that you can reach your financial goals a lot quicker. But you need to be fully aware of the total market before you embark on that. Otherwise, if you go in unknowingly,
Keep going to read your part B of this.
if you go in unknowingly, I think the stress will kill you.
Yes.
Because
Paul was more stressed. You were. Tell him you were more stressed at the beginning.
There are a lot. There's a very high percentage of new businesses that fail within the first 12 months because people didn't go in eyes wide open. So you must have a business plan and understand the parameters of what it is you head. So what's part 2?
The key to planning for the future financially is to set up multiple streams of income. What are your favourite methods of creating cash flow for life so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labour?
Yes, okay, well, it's pretty clear. The 3 here are real estate. So you have a monthly income or annual income from real estate investments, the rental from the real estate shares, having a dividend stream twice yearly, fully franked dividend stream, and or interest paid on cash. And for me, I utilise the superannuation laws that are suitable for me. So they are the three streams of income that I use that'll be the safest. That's what'll work for me.
Okay. Louise said, sometimes you've dreamed of doing something for years, like living in a huge house or being rich, etc. I always think that's such a funny word, being rich.
Rich in what?
Yeah.
What's rich? Rich is rich.
Well, I think she meant financially
but
sound or whatever.
You know what?
If you go view the huge house like we have recently, you may actually decide that the extra work in caring for it or another reason will, hang on, so I've just got to expand on that, will make you realise you're happy where you are. You know what, that's so true. And you can strive for something else that you want. It's like, you know what, we look at people with holiday houses and I think that's lovely for them, but do I want one? No.
No. So the answer is maybe you don't need to buy that house and then sell it and go back to where you were. You need to work out what it is. And Megan and I have done that. We have a home that suits us. It wouldn't suit everyone. It suits us. And we don't want a beach house or a ski apartment or any of that stuff because we're just not interested.
Don't.
No, not interested. So we can go on a holiday, we pack up and leave and we go to different places. We're not obliged
we don't want to be committed to
go to the same place.
Well, then you have friends come down and stay and you've got to do all the washing and cleaning, you've got to cook. It's like being at home just in a different place for me.
We like to explore different places.
Yeah.
So I think...
I love going to other people's beach houses though.
Yeah, you're quite right. But you've got to work out what it is you want because some people... they just want to be consumers, you see. They have a house this size and then they buy a bigger one and then they buy a bigger one and they buy a bigger car and they buy a bigger car and then they have a bigger boat and they have a faster race. But you see, it's where you draw the line as to what suits you. And absolutely, if you are satisfied at a certain level and you're comfortable, and that's because, look, the house that you like when you're single is a different house to what you like when you're married, which is a different house when you've got 3 kids. I'm not moving from here,
everyone. I love this house. I seriously am not moving.
It's a different house when you've got 3 kids, and then it might be a different house when you're 80 years of age and everyone's left.
Do you know what? I'm just going to turn the downstairs living room into our bedroom.
You've got to
up the stairs.
You try and work out what it is for you, and then you build. I would agree with you exactly what you're saying because once you've reached the level of where you're satisfied in a house, then you can save and build investments so you have a recurring income.
Sometimes
so that
you
when
just
you stop
reach that
work,
point where you just, I don't know. Paul even said that to me the other day. He said, you don't sort of buy as many clothes and all that. I probably used to buy a lot more clothes and a lot more stuff like that. Now I just don't as much anymore.
Doesn't make you any happier.
It's not that I don't like buying clothes anymore because I still definitely do. But I do it when I love them and I don't do it, I don't know. It's just different, isn't it? Maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe things don't look the same anyway.
It's just stuff.
It is
you
just
know
stuff.
what? You'd feel better about doing your boxing and feeling better.
I love doing my boxing. Okay, Joanne said, hi Megan and Paul, I've been contemplating turning one of my hobbies into a business. What tips and advice would you give around that? Oh, I know that. Can I tell her that, seeing as that's what I did?
Okay.
My tip is do that on the weekends and start it. See if you really like it. Start by doing it in your spare time.
Yeah, small steps.
Do little bits of it. See if, gives whatever it is. Like, for example, with my jewellery, you might start and you might make a necklace and then you might give them to your friends for their birthdays and then sort of say to them, this is what I want to be doing. So if you've got other friends who might like to buy some, please suggest me, blah, blah, blah. And you sort of get it out there, make a Facebook page, put some of your stuff online, whatever. But I would say don't give up your whole job and then go voomf. Unless you're 100% sure. I wouldn't. Would you?
No. I think that's good advice.
Thank you very much. You're the only sensible advice I can use. Franny said she doesn't have a question, but she wanted to say thank you for doing these videos.
That's a bit of fun, isn't it? I don't know how Megan got me to do them, I used to watch her doing them and she said, come over, go.
She loves them and she looks forward to them every week, she says.
Well, thanks for watching.
I like making them. We do like making them. How did Paul get to be so self-disciplined with his fitness? Oh, hang on, what about me? I'm disciplined too. Go on, tell him how you did. Hang on, and was he always that way or did it increase when he met you, Megan? No, I didn't really say that. It doesn't say that at all. Was he always that way or did it increase gradually or how did it get to this point? I have moderate self-discipline but would like to have more. Elizabeth, what about me? I reckon I'm pretty disciplined. I didn't get any credit there. You got all that credit.
Well, I've always done sport, actually.
So I taught aerobics for crying out loud.
And I get restless if I don't do something. And I got a wake-up call in, I'll tell you when it was. it was about 1995. I went to Epworth to have a super check done. And you go there, and it's maybe 4 hours one day, and then you go back a week later, and you do
God,
3
and they
hours.
photograph the back of
Look,
your thighs. I'm telling you, that was not a pleasant thing to have done.
They check all your skin, they X-ray your organs, they ultrasound your organs.
They do everything.
They blood test. We had a stress test. They do hearing checks, eyesights, the whole lot.
Anyway, so what gave you the wake-up call?
The guy said to me, "Do you want to book in now for your triple bypass?" He said,
that's
"With
always
your
good.
lifestyle, the
Really?
way." Yeah, I remember his name is Bill Shields. He said, "With your lifestyle, the way you're working, my cholesterol was too high, my blood pressure was a bit high, there was not enough me time. I was working too hard, even though I was still doing, but that was in the embryonic years of me starting the business." And so he said, "You just have to put in your diary this." So that was a big wake-up call, because if my health failed, then I was no good to myself, no good to Megan, no good to my family, no good to my business, no good to anyone. So I worked extra hard then, and then when I went back 10 years later to do the health check, everything was better. My blood pressure was better, my cholesterol was better, my strength, my flexibility, everything except my vision, I think, and my hearing.
What?
Exactly.
I'm just so funny.
That was the wake-up call.
Tracy, lovely Tracy in Canada. She's so tired she can't think of a question, and then she said, "No, I do have a question."
I'm never short for a word, Tracy.
When planning your vacations, do you plan well in advance, or is it more spontaneous?
Both.
I think many of us are travelling vicariously through you to the many fabulous destinations you visit, and we love and appreciate the photos. Did I mention... I'm so happy you'll be back to your regular Saturday video show. She's so gorgeous, Tracy. I can't wait to meet her one day.
Whereabouts in Canada is she?
She's fondly named at Keeping Up with the Castrons. I couldn't tell you offhand. Happy Easter to you.
I've got a Canadian passport, and my dad's Canadian. How about that? So I love Canada.
I've got lots of people in Canada. Sue, I'd like to see, and
But the answer to your question is some are spontaneous.
Steve and
Last week
Sue
or 2 weeks ago we went away, and I only made the decision about 2 days before. And there's some holidays, like annual holidays, maybe in the middle of the year or at Christmas time.
like we know that we're going to Europe in the middle of the year, for example.
And we'll go
Already.
skiing in the States over Christmas.
Yeah.
So those ones, and there's another one, Port Douglas, where we go to here on the east coast of Australia.
They're kind of a bit routine. We are creatures of habit a little bit, aren't we?
So yeah, and then some spontaneous.
But Paul and I will do our little Europe trip like we did last year, where we just took off in the car and didn't know where we were going.
You know what? We land in London, and then we do not know. And it's tic-tac-toe.
Really fun.
Maybe I fly across or get a Eurostar to Paris, and then we get a car, and then we get in the car and we drive. And
I love catching up with my UK YouTube friends. There's a group that I've caught up with for years now.
We drove straight down to Chamonix so that Megan could have the foie gras. You've got to go.
You always tell them about my foie gras.
You've got to go to Chamonix. That is just spectacular. It's so beautiful in the summertime and the winter.
Guess what? We've reached the end. I think that's it. Now, is there anything else that you want to say?
You know,
of course there is.
No. Well, look. It would be dreadful to not reach the potential that you want to reach, and so make the hard decision, do the work, do the learning, do the education, teach yourself what it is that you need to do, so that you can do what it is you want to do in 3 or 5 years' time, so that you can reach the potential. Because I speak to too many people that say, I had an old school friend say to me the other day, "You're so lucky." He went to the same school. He actually started in real estate. He was doing real estate.
It's because you've got me.
He didn't like it. He didn't like it. You know why I didn't like it? Because it had involved every Saturday and every Sunday and most evenings and early morning. And, it meant that when I was in my early 20s, I didn't go to barbecues on the weekend or go out partying on the weekend, because I had to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed first thing.
I've got parting words as well.
So, if you make the hard decisions today, because you can only work at the really super hard rate when you're young, because when you get older you can't work as hard as what you were when you were younger. So my advice would be, make the hard decisions today.
God, I'm so not ever going to be wearing those.
Look, you know what?
They're balls, look at me.
Yeah, well, they're for reading.
Look like a grandmother. Hello.
Anyway,
you put them on.
Make the hard decisions today so that you can reap the rewards and the benefits tomorrow. and plan your life, because you know what? It's pretty short. You know, we were coming home the other day and Megan said, gee, 18 years since Maxie was born. Where have the 18 years gone? Really, it's fast. You know,
So I want to say one more thing. You know what? Everyone out there, when you've got an ailment or a lump in your breast or a whatever, go and check it out, because I have had friends who left those things and they are no longer with us. That's putting it just so straightforward and simply. If you've got something that needs to be checked out,
and one of the
out.
girls who had the lump, who knew she had the lump, when she finally had it out and it was effectively too late and it had invaded other parts of her body, she was so tenacious about
she
the
was
fight.
fabulous.
She was so tenacious about the fight to stay alive, and all she needed to have done was probably had it checked
earlier.
or
She had
maybe 6 months earlier.
So please go and get things checked up, and don't be scared of, just because they don't say it doesn't mean it's not there.
I'll tell you, I'm going to have a colonoscopy in about 2 weeks.
It's taken me so long.
So they say
that.
when you're over 50, you've got to have one. So I'm 51.
He so doesn't want to do it, everyone.
I'm going to have one, and you know what?
I'm sure we'll tell you about that.
I'm just so looking forward to
I might video
walking out of the clinic after it's finished. My mum said, "Oh, you probably can't wait to have the cup of tea when you come to."
A cup of tea is
fun. And
fun.
I said, no, I'll be glad to be walking out of the place. You know, probably it'll be worse when I'm walking in the place, but I'm practicing what I preach. It's actually quite bizarre
for someone who doesn't do drugs or has never done drugs. This is me. Well, both of us have never.
No.
But when they pop you to sleep, it is quite a fun feeling when you can feel like it goes all tingly. That's only going to be my only experience with drugs. So I think that's hilarious. And you sort of go, oh, is that? Am I going to sleep now? And you're asleep, and then you wake up and you have a cup of tea and you go home. It's easy.
Anyway, I am going to have one of those to have a check, because they said it's no good doing the stool checks, because if they find blood, you've already got a cancer in your colon.
Yeah,
so
I was telling you, a colonoscopy is nothing.
They said colonoscopy. So
I got them done. I've been doing them for 5 years, because Oprah did a show where they said it was one of the most easily treated cancers. If you get onto that early, there's no need to die of bowel cancer.
And I had someone else, one of the boys in the office, is doing the Epworth check.
Yep.
And one of his friends said, how much will that cost?
Being a hospital,
and he said, about $4,000. And they go, $4,000? You're spending $4,000 on... I said, well, hang on.
I think it's actually tax deductible.
It is. How much would you spend on getting your car serviced or anything like that? Like, people don't invest in themselves, and you've got to invest in yourself so that you
that gym membership
clear.
that seems hideously expensive, if you use
best
it,
value.
good.
Yeah,
right.
Best value. Anyway, happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. I haven't eaten the egg, but Paul did buy me an organic chocolate rabbit.
See ya.
Bye. Who's giving up alcohol with me? I want to know. Yes.
Heather. You won't get many takers, I don't think.
I already put on the Jewelchic Fitness Challenge page, which I'll put a link to under here, so you can join as well. Yeah. Some of you might not even know that page exists. But we all sort of get in there together and encourage each other. Sometimes we lead each other off the garden path. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.